I set out to get the footage for this game, I set out with the intention of pointing out all the great things about Warfighter. Now, there are a lot of great things, I swear they do exist, but it quickly turned into a screamfest of anger. Hey everybody, this is Meowth, that's right. I know on occasion you guys have heard, different YouTubers, we've even talked about it, but we talk about what it takes to actually make a video, what the process is that we go through to get some footage and upload a video and, make it nice and pretty for everybody. But basically it boils down to a lot of time and effort. Now, that's if the game's running pretty consistent, like it's meant to run. But let me explain to you what exactly it is that I went through to get this footage for you. I started out, I've sort of abandoned the idea of actually checking the server browser because every time I do, it shows me a game maybe with like 1 or 2 people in it at the top, and the other games that it shows is basically servers with nobody in it. Battlelog has proven to be useless to me already because every time I try to pick a game in Battlelog, I get basically a game crash or something like that. So I've opted to use matchmaking, which has its own bugs as well. For instance, the first game I tried to get, I was trying to play Home Run because I've never played it before and I really wanted to get to. But what it gave me instead was sector control for some reason. And, when you're doing the matchmaking, you can't see what server it is that you're joining. So if they have any rules on the server that are posted in bold letters, I'm never going to notice them because I joined through matchmaking. And if they're trying to tell me through the chat, I've never been good at looking at the chat log anyway while I'm trying to play because I like to keep my focus on the game. And since I didn't know the rules, I of course got kicked. Now, I didn't know I was kicked at the beginning because when you get kicked in this game, it doesn't seem to let you know. It just basically boots you out, gives you the same screen that you'd probably get if you lost connection, so you just assume that it's a buggy connection or something like that. So the next game I attempted to play was also using the matchmaking system. I still wanted to play Home Run, so I still used the Home Run mode. And what it got me was a sector control with one other guy in it. So it's not even putting me in a server with full people when it gives me a bogus mode. I of course decided to leave that server and wanted to use a matchmaking system again. Tried Home Run again, hoping that maybe one day it would be the time that I'd get to play Home Run. I'm sure it exists, right? I mean, it's in the menus. So what it did to me anyway was put me in a sector control. I was apparently back in the same server that I started in the beginning, the one that I got kicked from, but was unaware at the time. And I played there for a few minutes, still unaware of the rules, and I died out of nowhere with no explanation of what it was that killed me. The only thing I can assume is that it was the admin killing me. It didn't say it was, but I believe that this is the case because shortly after I got kicked. After that, I decided to check the list of recent servers to see what the hell was going on, and what I noticed is that it was called Tactical Realism Walking Only. And that's when I drew the conclusion that I must have been getting kicked for breaking the rules that I didn't see in the game because the chat log isn't big enough. You can imagine at this point that I was already pretty damn annoyed. But anyway, onward, I tried joining with matchmaking again, of course, using the Home Run selection. And what it did was put me right back in the same exact server. So after a series of deaths, I finally managed to break free from that server. And decided I was going to use the matchmaking system again, but this time I was going to use Hotspot. Maybe that would get me Home Run. Hell, Home Run didn't, so maybe something else would. But Hotspot didn't get me Home Run. Hotspot didn't get me Hotspot. Hotspot got me Team Deathmatch. And a hardcore Team Deathmatch at that. And that would have been fine, but I had a teammate that must have been his first day and he didn't realize it wasn't okay to kill his team. He also blocked walkways and really didn't do anything useful in general. I wouldn't normally pick on somebody who isn't good at playing, but this game already had me in a shitty mood, so he sort of took the brunt of that. And of course, you know, I never ever type anything out, so he probably didn't see anything anyway, unless he heard me bitching about it over the VoIP. The next game I played after was the game that you're watching right now. Finally a game, oh my god! This game actually went pretty well, other than having a team that didn't care about the objective. You might actually look at this game and think this game looks pretty good. I don't see why everyone whines about this game, and that's because this is one of those rare games that actually ran right. I actually thought about uploading a montage of my attempts to just grab one game's worth of footage. One 7-minute and 52-second game's worth of footage, because it took me about an hour and a half to get it. Now in my head, I have a ton of trouble rationalizing spending an hour and a half of my day trying to pull one 8-minute video. It just seems ridiculous. And be sure this doesn't even begin to come close to approaching the multitude of other problems this game has. I mean, my time is precious. I do a lot of stuff, but I like to play and I like to have fun, and if I'm not going to have fun because it takes too long to get a goddamn game, I'm not going to be playing. And over the next few months, I'll probably still find myself playing Warfighter while EA still claims they're supporting it. But who knows after that? As far as uploading Warfighter footage, if I do find myself playing a game where I'm having a lot of fun, we do tend to record all of our games, so I might end up posting it. But don't count on it. Before I go, let's make sure the blame for this flawed game rests where it should. EA! EA for days! EA all the way! EA, EA, EA! Danger Close better not take the fall for this flop. When it's running right, you can see an incomplete glimpse of the awesome game this would be. Danger Close had the right idea, they just didn't have the support, or even the time to complete this properly. While I'm at it, I'd like to retroactively subtract the blame from DICE for Medal of Honor 2010's problems, because I actually think that would have been a great game. I mean, I really enjoyed playing it in the first place, but people wouldn't have seen it as such a crap game had EA given DICE the proper support to begin with. I mean, one patch throughout the life of the game? Fuck EA. Make no mistake, I love Medal of Honor. I even like Warfighter when it works. But that ain't how it normally goes. Sorry for the angry rant. Oh, blame EA for that too. In an upcoming video sometime in the near future, I do still intend to highlight the greatness that I feel was planned for this game. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, sound off in the comments below about what game you'd like to see us play in the future. We already got a lot of great suggestions in Wallguy's previous video, and if you haven't seen that, check it out.